right, welcome to this deep dive for Module 4, Exercise 1. This is where the real writing starts to happen. We're going to take all the raw material you brainstormed and actually start turning it into the first lines of your song. So you've done the work, right? You've got this workbook just packed with feelings, metaphors, and all these great sensory details. But this is honestly where a ton of songwriters get stuck. How do you go from a list of cool ideas to a verse that actually works? A verse that pulls people in? Let's break down that very first step. Oh, and by the way, I apologize again for my voice, you guys. I'm still sick. Anywho, we're making a really important shift in our process right now. You see, in Module 3, it was all about going wide, brainstorming, gathering, just getting all this raw creative stuff down on the page. But now in Module 4, we're flipping the switch. It's all about focus. It's all about becoming an architect and building your song piece by piece. I absolutely love thinking about it this way. All those intense feelings you dug up, well, they need a home, a structure that allows a listener to walk right in, look around, and really feel what you feel. And the very first room we're going to build in that home is the verse. So let's get clear on the job description for each part of your song. The pre-chorus is all about building tension. The chorus, that's your big hook, your main idea. But the verse, you see, the verse has one super critical job: storytelling through detail. And to do that job really, really well, there's a huge trap we need to avoid. So let's talk about a key concept that is going to make your verses instantly stronger, I promise. We're going to talk about how to avoid something I call metaphor whiplash. So what is it? Well, it's what happens when you get so excited about all your amazing ideas that you try to cram every single one of them into the first 4 lines. You know, you've got a storm, but then suddenly it's a desert and then you're in a locked room. And instead of pulling your listener in, you just end up confusing them. You leave them feeling totally disoriented instead of grounded in your story. And this slide here just lays it out so perfectly, right? Look at the left side. A storm, a desert, a crowded room. It's chaotic. Your brain doesn't know what to grab onto. But now look at the right. One single clear idea. The weight, which is then deepened by another connected image, the clouds. See how that paints one powerful, crystal clear emotional picture? It's just so much more effective. And that's really the bottom line. Your first verse is like your handshake with the listener. Your job is to build one world for them to step into, not throw them into 3 different worlds in the first 10 seconds. Let's actually see how this works in practice. We'll take a look at our class song, Learning to Breathe, because it is a perfect example of how choosing to focus creates real power. So this is how the song begins. It doesn't say, "I'm sad" or "I feel bad." It gives us a physical, tangible sensation. The listener doesn't just hear about the feeling. They start to almost feel it themselves. And that immediately grounds us in a real human experience. And then look at what the next line does. It doesn't jump to a new idea. Nope, it digs deeper into the first one. It takes that intense feeling of weight and connects it to this perfect external image, creating one single cohesive metaphor. The weight is the unreleased ring. It's beautiful. But here's what's so powerful and what I really want you to see. Look at everything that got left behind. I mean, tangled wires, drowning, carrying bricks, quicksand. These are all fantastic images, but I made a deliberate choice. I chose to focus, picking only the weights and the clouds to build that unified world. It just proves that effective writing is so often about good editing. Okay, your turn. It's time for you to make that exact same kind of powerful, focused choice for your own song. And I really want you to remember this. This is not about limiting your creativity. It is the opposite. It's about focusing its power. When you give your listener one strong image to hold on to, the emotional impact you create is so much deeper and so much more memorable. So here are your exact steps for Module 4, Exercise 1. It is super easy. Step 1, go back and review that incredible list of images and metaphors you came up with in Module 3. Then Step 2, choose one of them, just one. Select the single most powerful image that's going to become the home, the foundation for your entire first verse. So go back to your list. Which one is jumping out at you? Which image feels like the real beginning of your song's story? Choose that one, and very importantly, trust your gut. And let it be your guide as you start to write. Alrighty then, that's it for this one. See you next time. Oh, and if you know anyone who could benefit from this course, please do share it with them. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Hey, welcome back, songwriters. So the last exercise was so short, I figured we'll just make this a twofer and move right along to exercise 2. So let's get right into it. Module 4, exercise 2, writing the moment. This one's all about taking that feeling you have, that abstract idea, and really grounding it. Giving it a time, a place, a heartbeat. So let me ask you something. Have you ever felt this? You've got this great idea, this really powerful feeling. You write down your first line and bam, your brain just immediately switches into rhyme mode. All of a sudden, you're not even trying to say what you mean anymore. You're just hunting for a word that rhymes. It's so easy to get stuck there, and that's the real danger, right? When you start chasing the rhyme too early, it backs you into a corner. You end up saying stuff that's, kind of cliche, or even worse, stuff you don't actually believe. All just because it sounds right. It's totally putting the cart before the horse, as they say. Alright, so how do we avoid that trap? Well, we're going to use a really simple, but honestly, super helpful tool for this exercise. I call it the no rhyme rule. And really, it's all about giving yourself permission to just be messy and way more honest. Okay, check this out. It really shows the two different paths, doesn't it? On one side, you got those forced rhymes. They shackle you. You end up with lyrics that are predictable, maybe even kind of cheesy. But then look at the other side. You have the freedom of just writing, just letting your real, authentic ideas flow. That right there, that's where the good stuff is. I love this quote because it's the perfect mindset for this stage. You're not trying to build the final sculpture just yet. You are mining for the emotional clay here. Yep, again, we're going to the mines. Think about that. Right now, our only job is to get our hands dirty. We're digging around for that raw, messy, unfiltered feeling, but we're gonna go a little deeper. I will be teaching you about shaping, polishing, all that stuff later, but there are crucial building blocks before we get there, and those blocks are what this exercise is really about. It's about building that emotional foundation. See, before we even think about structure or anything like that, we've got to find the song's heartbeat. You may think you've done that already, but just hear me out. We need to know what that heartbeat is really about at its core. Alrighty, so let's make this real. Here's an example. We'll take one image and see how we can expand it into a whole moment. Okay, so in the last exercise, you picked an image that really connected with the emotion you're working on, right? We're going to use that same idea, but deeper. For this walkthrough, we'll once again look at the class song, Clouds That Won't Let Go of Rain. Can you feel the tension in that? So how do we build a scene around this? Simple. We just ask when and where. Let's start with this. The when, it's nighttime. Where? I'm lying in bed, but I can't sleep. See, just like that, we've set a stage. That abstract feeling now has a place to live. Okay, now let's connect that feeling to our image. We could write something like, the weight sits heavy on my chest. It feels like clouds that are full of rain but won't release it. Now, notice what we're not doing here. There's no rhyme, there's no rhythm. It's just pure, honest description. But now we can go even deeper. Let's explore that feeling a little more. How about this? Everything is stuck. The feelings, the rain, me. I can't name exactly what I'm feeling, but I know it's heavy. So much better than just saying, I'm sad, right? We're actually showing what that heavy, stuck feeling is like, because we always want to, what? Say it with me. Show, don't tell. And for the last piece, let's give this moment a little push, a motivation. What does the person in the scene want? Well, they probably want relief from that weight, right? So we can add something like, I want relief. Maybe if I put words to this weight, it will lift a little. And there it is. That one thought gives the whole scene a purpose. So let's put it all together. What do we have? It's like a little diary entry, isn't it? It's definitely not quite a lyric, not yet. We are getting there, trust me. It's just an honest piece of writing that captures one specific moment, one specific feeling. And this is that emotional clay I'm talking about. So that's the example. Okay, so here's what you're going to do for this exercise. First, get that image that you chose in the last exercise in 4.1, the one that's packed with emotion for you. Then you're going to write a short paragraph, maybe 4 to 6 sentences, that describes the moment of that image. And here's a key detail. Write it in the present tense, like it's happening to you right now. And here is the most important part. There is one rule. It is non-negotiable. No rhyme, no rhythm. Not yet. Please don't even think about it. Don't try to make it sound like anything. The only thing it should sound like is the plain truth that's in your heart, no matter how ugly it may be. Your only job, seriously, your only job is to get the scene and the feeling down on the page as honestly as you possibly can. Okay, so this is where you're going to pause the video, give yourself a few minutes, and then write those 4 to 6 sentences. Just remember, no sugarcoating. Write. I'll be right here when you get back. Howdy, howdy, y'all. Welcome back. I hope that felt good. Maybe even a little freeing. Now, just take a second. Reread what you just wrote. Look at what you've created here. You might think you just wrote a few sentences, no big deal, but you actually did something pretty amazing. You just dug up some truly authentic stuff, maybe even something you've never let yourself say before. Not only have you laid bare what's really in your heart, but you found the real emotional heart of your song idea, and you just set the scene for your entire first verse, and that's a huge step. So now you have it. You've got the foundation. It's the most important piece,
everything you write from this point on is going to build on the truth of what's right there on your page. So we now have the answer to that question of what story does this moment want to tell? Now you know. All right, fantastic work, you guys. I'm getting more and more excited to see what you all end up with at the end. But till the next one, be nice to everyone and remember to be nice to yourself too, because kindness is the highest form of wisdom. Bye.